What's up, guys? How y'all feeling today? We are going to go live with Kelvin today. His album just dropped. Back to Class 3, Thrills and Feels. So I'm just going to share the live a little bit. Let's get some people in here. Once you enter, be sure to share the live with as many people as possible. And let's get this thing started. Let me see. Gotti, what's up? Congratulations on your song. It's a hit. Let me see if we can get him in here. There we go. CEO, I see you in the building. We're going to talk to Kelvin today. I'm really excited. His album just dropped. I haven't listened to the whole thing just yet, but what I've heard so far is really good. So, Kelvin, if you could just send in the request. Yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit. How y'all feeling today? Y'all having a good day? Hey, Beeper babies, I see you. Hey. Can you hear me?
Hey.
CEO says he's going to world premiere your stuff to this week on the Mix Show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can get the connection together. How about this? Let me start it over. You guys come right back. Let's see if we can get this together real well. He just went away. Hold on. Let's see. What's up, Nate? I see you. Hey, for everybody coming in, we're going live with Kelvin. It's connecting in just a second.
Okay.
You back?
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay, it's your big day.
Yeah. I feel good. I feel real good. Like this project is something special. It's something special behind it. I don't think I've ever really felt this good for a release. Really for any other release. And I think that's because I have more people involved this time, but I also know the quality level is there. The quality level is probably some of the best quality level we're able to come out with. So very, very excited for this project, man. Hey, I see y'all down there. What's good, CO? What's popping? What's going on, man? We got John Bonanno in here.
For everybody who's on here, Kelvin just dropped his album, Back to Class 3, Thrills and Feels. I'm 3 songs in.
Okay.
And I love it already. My favorite so far is Lesson Plan, so I can't wait to just listen to the whole thing. I'm pretty excited about that. So tell me, how was the process into putting this all together?
Well, the process behind it, and this has really been the process behind other projects as well, is that like I've always had this idea of creating this like intensely personal like record, like this intensely personal project. And it's always turned into like something else in the end. So like it never exactly comes to what I have in my head. It just kind of makes itself at some point. And that's kind of what happened with this one. Because even in the last Back to Class, like like all of them kind of follow each other because they're different points in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so dropping the last one, I think at the end of last, well, no, I dropped it what in February. That kind of told a lot of what I was going through, like through 2020, and then like dropping this one, it's everything that I kind of was going through, like at the start of 2021, and then some stuff that was happening at the end of 2020. So, but yeah, I mean, I kind of found this balance, right, of being personal and then having the entertainment value still be there. You know, still making something interesting for people to listen to. And, you know, I think I kind of fell in love with the idea of like just creating this like great golden project. And I kind of go into it sometimes with that mode. But like even now, I've kind of found a way to just like not necessarily be married to a song, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just kind of like letting whatever the vibes of whatever's going on in my life at that time just kind of dictate the music. Because at the end of the day, this is therapeutic for me. And I'm pretty sure it is for a lot of other people. So if
Yeah.
I deal with a certain issue, be it a personal issue, no matter how trivial it is, that's how I deal with that issue. Once the song is made and it's out, I'm done with it. You know, I've dealt with that issue. And that's pretty much what this project is. It's, you know, some things that are intensely personal. You know, there are some trials and tribulations and
Mm-hmm.
shortcomings in there. And then, you know, there's also stuff that's just entertainment value and me just kind of showcasing what I do.
Nice, nice. So the concept of back to class is it's just basically it's how you're feeling in the moment,
Hmm.
and it's also teaching you at the same. Is it like a reteaching thing or a rejuvenating type of
It is.
feel?
It is. Because it's for me, it's like when I originally made the first Back to Class EP, and I think it was 2019. When I made that one, I originally made it because I was releasing it around back to school time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of the reason for the name. But as it evolved into other projects, it really became like a reteaching myself, you know, and kind of like just a reconnection with hip hop and making music again. And
Nice.
so I found it easier to like be more vulnerable on these type of projects and making them not so long, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
know I don't necessarily say they're albums. You know, they're too long to be EPs. So it's a situation to where it's like somewhere in between. You know, because the first one was only 4 songs, so that's an EP. You
And
know, and then
this one
yeah,
is 8.
yeah, the last two were 8. So, you know, I think it's just kind of perfect sitting where it is because they're really a continuation of each other. So just having the trilogy, and I actually went back and listened to like the whole trilogy today, and I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, this is insane. Like it's incredible. Just
So
kind of
do
seeing the progression.
you suggest people listen to them in order before they listen to Back to Class 3 or
They don't necessarily have to. It's
okay.
I look at it right because you have certain TV shows, right,
Mm-hmm.
where it doesn't necessarily follow a chronological order.
Right.
So you can jump in the current season and then go back and rewatch the old ones.
Right.
So I think this is that same type of situation. You can listen to this and then go back and see.
Most definitely. Okay, so let's go down the track list.
Okay.
Um, your first song, Wild, and tell me about that one.
Oh man, Wallen. Well, Wallen. I wanted an energy record,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, and the process of going through certain beats, I came down to this dude named Thirst Pro. I found his beats, and for one, me, I'm a huge nerd. You know, obviously with the shirt, got the Zelda shirt on today, but I'm a huge nerd. So any beat that has like video game elements in it, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
there. Like I'm pretty much sold on it. And
Nice.
so when I came across the Mario One sample that he had in his beat, I was like, this is crazy. And then it's like a UK grime type of beat. It's got that, you know, pop smoke, you know, type of bounce, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that's kind of Stormzy feel to it. So I'm like, this is nuts. So I knew when I found a beat, I was like, I'm gonna have to go in. And so once again, going back to certain things that was happening in my life, um, that's kind of how the record came to be. because I was really wilding. Like into 2020, I was wilding. I was kind of out there doing some stuff. So that's the story behind that one.
What's up, guys? If you're just coming in, we are with Kelvin. He's talking about his album that just dropped today, Back to Class 3. We're going down the
Yes.
track list right now, and the second song is Lesson Plan. So let me tell you this. So I told you I'm 3 songs in so
Right.
far.
Right.
Um, I listened to it this morning, and it helped me because this morning was just like really hectic.
Right.
I kind of wanted to just like lay down and chill. And sometimes you just have so much to do that you can't do that, even though you
Hmm.
want to, you
Right.
can't.
Right.
So just listening to that this morning, it kind of made me put my day in order. It made me calm down and just say, everything's not going to go the way you want it. If you're dedicated to something, you might need more time
Hmm.
to do those things, and if you need that time, then you got to get up. So
Right.
that helped me get up this
That's
morning.
what's up. I appreciate that. I'm glad it can help you
Hmm.
kind of get to it. And that's really the spirit of the record, is just kind of giving people that inspiration, and just kind of like, letting people know like it's okay to feel yourself sometimes.
Right.
You can feel yourself in like a non-narcissistic manner.
Hmm.
You know, it's okay to just be like, today I'm the shit. Like nobody's messing
Right.
with me today. You
And I
know,
said that at the panel, like you have to believe that. Like you have
right.
to believe that you're the shit. Like in
Yeah.
whatever you do. And I know we all struggle with, I wouldn't say just believing in ourselves, but just
Hmm.
to a certain extent, like
Right.
we are capable of things that we don't even know we're capable of
Exactly.
just yet. So pushing yourself to do more is you actually discovering who you truly are within
Yeah.
your business and things like that. God next bar says, I was checking on you all. I must say I'm impressed with all the artists I'm seeing. Brother, can you send me the track so I can forward it in Nigeria? He's also a rapper and a singer.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I'm gonna add you for sure. And I'm gonna send you all the links and stuff for sure. I'm gonna DM those to you for sure.
So, with lesson plan, it sounds like an organization track. Like it just makes you want to, get your life in order. Is that kind of where you were going with it?
Um, yeah, well, I was just kind of letting people know like my journey, just
Hmm.
because, like, I mentioned in a song like 10 years later, I'm doing everything I said I would, and
Yeah.
that's like real. When I started taking music seriously, or when I kind of made a conscious decision, like, and I was really thinking about like, I really want to take this seriously and see where it goes. And so, and just kind of looking back at my journey and the things I was able to accomplish, like that's how I was feeling. And so, and me in the song, I'm just letting people know, like, it's okay. Whatever you got going on, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna have those trials and tribulations, and you're gonna be stressed out. And you're gonna take some L's. But as long as you have a plan, when you keep moving forward, that's the most important thing. And you have to learn lessons from your mistakes, and that's pretty much the gist of the song. That's the whole meaning behind it, is that as long as you keep moving forward and you make mistakes, you're able to learn from them. You're gonna see the other side.
Nice. He wants to know how long you've been doing this, been into music.
Uh, Music in general, probably my whole life. Like music has been that one constant thing for me, even as a small child. And just like I remember being like, on punishment or whatever, you did something in school or you got some bad grades, and like it came down to where my dad, he was like, well, you ain't get no TV, you don't get no video games, nothing like that. And so, and this is, I don't know if I've told this story before, but this is the story. Uh, So yeah, I would be on punishment from time to time. I wasn't a bad kid, but you know, you get in trouble or whatever, you get on
We
punishment.
all been in trouble
So,
once.
you know, so yeah, he would say no TV, no video games, blah 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 blah. And so he came home one day and I had the radio playing.
Hmm.
And he came in and he looked at me and it's like, I thought I told you. And then he stopped. And he was like, why do you have the radio on? And I was like, well, you never said anything about the radio. And so, but he saw how important that was for me in that moment. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so, like, so you know, he let me have the radio, and that was one of the things that just always stuck by me. I always had this kind of affinity for music and this deeper connection with music, even at a young age, and just you know, feeling you know different melodies and patterns and drums different, and really hearing the lyrics and what they're saying, and not understanding the concept at that you know young of an age, but just having a feeling in you to where you can see the sounds, you know. And I think a lot
Yeah,
of us creatives, we can see what we're doing before we you know put it on paper or before we you know put it in the computer. You know,
no,
we see it,
definitely.
we can visualize it, and I was doing that at a young age. So that's really kind of the backstory behind that. But going into rapping, you know, I just kind of started, you know, in middle school. I started just kind of freestyling, and then like I would take popular songs and just change the word around. And then I got to doing that so much, I was making whole new songs, you know, with you know popular songs. So I got to doing that, and then I started just battling people in high school. You know, lunch tables. You know, everybody
Hmm.
can remember those days. You know, you just start battling and you know seeing who's the best MC in high school and stuff, and then you get to a point to where you start recording and things like that. And so, you know, like one of my first major purchases, I think, was like a microphone and a mixer. Like that was it, you know. And I had my little laptop, you know, back in like '07, you know, that I still have to this day, you know, old crusty, you know. And you know, I just kept pressing from there. So it's just been years and years of this, man. I mean, you know, taking it seriously, I would say probably the past 10 years, but I think that was just the idea of it within the past 10 years. I think like actually executing, the execution didn't come until like 2017.
Nice. Music is therapy, especially for creatives. It's how
Right,
we escape whatever we are escaping life sometimes. But
right.
yeah. And going into that, your track three is Love in 4K.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you came up with that name, Love in 4K.
Well, when I was writing the song, I didn't really know where it was gonna go. I knew it was gonna be kind of a romantic, you know, kind of set the mood type of song.
Hmm.
I knew it was gonna be that. I didn't know if I was gonna be rapping on it, if I was gonna just sing on it. And
Hmm.
so, um, I think I can't remember what I had first. I want to say I had the hook first for this song. I had the hook first, you know, because I just started like singing it to myself, you know, and like once I got to a point of like, and then I had to figure out how I wanted to say the hook too, because it's not really a sing song. It's more of just kind of like, it's almost kind of like a flex in a
Hmm.
way. And so like, you know, when I was writing the lines, I got to a point, you know, like, you know, making love in 4K like we famous, and I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of hot." I was like, "Okay." And so then when I went back to do the song title, I was like, "It's got to be called Love in 4K. Like it has to be called that now, just because the song is so wavy." And I wanted, and then like as I'm kind of getting through the song and getting the different parts recorded, I'm like, "Okay, so I'm gonna rap on it. I'm gonna have a couple verses. The verse is gonna be super wavy, and then it has these other parts in the song where it's not necessarily a bridge. It's more like a pre-hook or a pre-verse, and um, I was filling in those parts. And so there's a plugin called Ovox, and
Hmm.
so that's where I kind of got that talk box effect. It's not a traditional talk box, but it's just that weird kind of voice that kind of has that old school feel to it. So I wanted to be like new school wavy and still have that old school R&B feel to it. And that's just kind of the way I approached it. And that's why the song came out why I did. Because when I was done with it, I sent it to the homies and I was just like, I think this is one of the best songs I've ever made.
Nice. Before we go into track 4, let's talk about the cover.
Yes.
Is that's your wife on the cover?
No, it is not my
No,
wife on the
it's
cover.
not. Okay, so
It's
who's
not.
on the cover?
It is a model. That's who's
Nice.
on the
Okay, so
cover.
how was it like a process of you finding the model? Did you have like a certain type of vision already or
Um, I was trying to figure out how I wanted the cover
okay?
because the last back to class covers or like have something that's school themed, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
first one's a classroom, the second one's a backpack in the snow. And this one I wanted it to be different.
Okay.
And
And it
so,
is different.
yeah, so I wanted it to really because this was going to be more of a wavy type of project, and it
Mm-hmm.
was going to have kind of it wasn't just going to be straight rap. It was just going to be more wavy, more vibey, something that I think the ladies can kind of get into on this project. So I wanted something to kind of just accurately describe every vibe that's coming across the album because you have those hard rap records, yes, but it's more sensual. So and finding it, so literally I just went through and was like looking at certain pictures of like basically like I think I searched in Canva like sensual, female, lingerie, blah 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 blah. Like so I'm just going through these pictures trying to figure out, what's the perfect one. And so like I was scrolling for like probably 4 hours. and so I get down to this one picture, and the photo that I have is not that the way the album cover came out is not the same as the original picture. So I did a lot of retouching on the original picture, but it is a model. I don't know who she is,
Okay.
but I was like, this is kind of dope. And so I originally actually had more text on there, kind of just saying what the album was and stuff like that. But when you go through certain distributors, your album cover has to get approved. So I ended up taking everything off and just leaving the girl. And so, and then that's what got approved. And then when I went back and I looked at it, I was like, that's kind of dope though, because when you have the
Yeah,
album
it's
covers
really
that don't
dope.
have anything,
I love how the eyes are covered. It just gives that like that real raw feel.
right,
It definitely goes with your album, definitely.
right, right, right.
For the people who are just coming in, we're here with Kelvin. We are going over the tracks for his Back to Class 3 album, Thrills and Feels. We are on track 4, Mary J. So tell me about Mary J. I see you got some features on here. Tell me
Yeah.
about that.
Mary J. Okay, well, this is where I kind of have to give Pro Faye all the credit in the world.
Okay.
Um, because Pro Faye, he wrote this track. He wrote a lot of this track, and he
Nice.
kind of came up with the original concept. And when I first heard the concept and what he had, which are really the original recordings that made the actual finished product, like that's everything. Um, so when he brought the song to me and he played it, I was like, this is incredible. He wasn't feeling it.
Oh, so he didn't like it.
Yeah, he wasn't really feeling it. He didn't think it was gonna be one that was going. He's like, oh no, he says I might sell it. I might just throw it away. I probably won't do nothing with it because he had because even the other feature, My Own Destiny, fantastic singer. She's phenomenal. He had hit her up originally saying, hey, I'm a use some vocals or whatever for the song and make sure everything was straight from that perspective.
Where's
And
she from?
so
Is she
uh,
from here?
sh- she's not from here. I can't remember exactly where she's from. I would literally have to leave the live and go back to her page and see where she's from. But I because I know I shouted her out before, and I'm probably gonna shout her out again. But she's a fantastic singer, incredible voice. But yeah, Profe found her, got in contact with her, got the vocals, and he pretty much laced the entire track except for my vocals until we recorded. Because my vocals were the last vocals that got recorded. And I did everything, all my vocals were recorded here in my home studio.
Mhm.
So I just added some more layers of vocals to the hook, and then did my little verse at the end, which kind of brought everything together. But the thing I love about Profe is that he has such an authenticity um, when he makes songs. Pretty much everything he does comes out so believable because he has a lot of emotion in it. And this is kind of a breakup song, if you will. It's kind of like a breakup song or a fight song, with your significant other. And I thought like the whole concept was dope because, he's just like, of course referencing Mary J, and from his verse, in the beginning, like he's in such a state, and he does this purposely. He puts himself in this state, and I don't want to like give away his whole process,
Mhm.
because some of it may not be healthy, but 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 it works because he was really going through some stuff at the time, and that's obvious in the verse, and that emotion came out through his vocals, and I loved it. So like I said, when I first heard the song when he brought it to me, like I loved it from that day. And I said, bro, I gotta have this one. I said, I need this one. I said, if you're not gonna do nothing with it, I'm gonna do something with it. I'm gonna find the right project for it. Like it just came out dope in the end because, you know, I was able to find a different vibe because anytime me and him get on a track together or really gonna do any feature, I always try to make sure my vibe is different. That I'm doing something different on the track from the other artists. And so because even though Profe used a type of flow that I would use, like I said, well, I'm gonna come from a different perspective, but still keep the same general concept of the song. And so that's how that song got put together. But yeah, I mean that's definitely one of my favorites, man. Just because it's really like a breakup anthem. It's more like a just kind of a chant almost, especially from the male perspective.
Nice, nice. So it's a breakup song for the men.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and
That's different.
not that women can't get there too, because we do have the female perspective on the song, which really tied it together.
Hmm.
And just the vocals from my own, but like it's it's just one of them ones. It's just magic. So, but yeah, I think just from the hook, like it's perfect. I mean, when you got like you said, if you were with the boys or whatever, you and your old lady going through it, you start drinking a little bit. That's one of them
Play Mary
ones.
J.
Play Mary J.
Okay, tell me about track 5, Unwell. Tell me about that one.
Oh God. Oh God. Woo!
Look, that a lot of emotion.
Well, Unwell was written under some circumstances.
Okay.
This kind of goes back, to the whole reason for the project, really. Like, I was wilding, and some things happened.
Okay.
So, I found myself involved with certain people, and it got to a point in the connection or the relationship to where it was just at a toxic place. And that's kind of where this idea came from. Because, you know, unwell, like when I have to start, I always got to start with a beat because like I was in this mood and it was kind of a somber mood and it was kind of a mood of like, it was almost kind of a narcissistic mood.
Hmm.
So I was just like, I can't believe this person. Like, what? Like, really? Like, this is how y'all get down? So, and going through that, I found a beat which is produced by Elijah Malo, and he does a lot of great beats like with this feel. It's that '90s kind of like Timberland Aaliyah vibe. And
Right.
when I heard it, I was like, yeah, I gotta have that. I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I gotta have it. And so once situations happened and I was kind of in that mood, I was able to write the song. and that's where it just kind of came out. It's like when I think about you, I get unwell, physically ill, like, and I'm thinking like that's like some disrespectful shit. Like I don't think you can really
Like
say
that's
you can,
basically saying like when I see you, I want to throw up. Like
yeah, like yeah, and like I was just like, this is kind of hard. And so, as I'm writing a song, like, I know I'm gonna kind of sing it, and it's not meant to be like I'm trying to like sing. It's just like I'm gonna put auto tune on it. It's gonna be a little T-Painy because like that's how I feel. Like I'm just getting this off because this is how I feel in the moment. And so it came out, and then the person that it's actually directed to, I sent it to them first, just out of courtesy,
yeah,
which not necessarily that I needed their approval to make the song, but it's just like I'm a person who tries to make sure, like, okay, like I don't want you to be blindsided, like this shit is coming.
yeah,
So, this is what it is, and they had some things to say, and they actually had some real critiques for the song that actually helped in post production. And so it came out dope. It came out a lot, more wavy than I thought it would. And
nice,
I'm happy with the result.
nice. Okay. Let's go into track six. Track six is the pairing. Now I heard the snippet of this, but like I
Right.
said, I haven't finished the track. Tell me about the pairing.
So the pairing, I wrote that like a little bit after COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a lot of artists doing COVID songs at the time, but like I found like I said, I found this beat from this Russian producer, and I was really impressed because I was like, man, I said they making stuff like this in Russia, like this is like some hard trap shit, like this is crazy. And so I was like, this is nuts. So once I got the beat, I kind of just started messing around, and then like um I was in the studio with this one kid named Ed. He used to be here in Huntsville, but he moved away. I think he moved back to Arkansas. And I was working with him at the time because I was trying to help him get his stuff off. So I was recording and engineering his stuff, and trying to help him get his stuff out. And so he was kind of with me, and like I was trying to figure out a hook for it. And then he said something slick, and he was like, "What's good with coronavirus?" Lyme disease. And I was like, "Ooh, I said, that's kind of hard." I said, "Hold up." And so like he left, and then I think like the next day I had like half the track done.
Oh wow.
And it just kind of went from there. But it's a on the surface it's kind of comedic, but it has a lot of real things in it, pertaining to politics. It's a socially conscious song. When you kind of just break it down, and like I kind of make songs like that to where it's like you have to go back and listen to it a couple times to
Mm-hmm.
really catch it. And so like on the surface it's like, oh, this is like a trap, kind of bouncy, like it's wavy, but like if you're really listening, I'm saying some political stuff in there, some stuff that you kind of makes you be like, like there's some stuff kind of going on here. So, and that's why I was gonna drop it like earlier last year, but I kind of held on to it. I said I need this for the right project and the right situation before I drop this song. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's dope because I really got kind of experimental and was doing some different things and found out some different pockets on it.
Now, would you suggest when putting together an album or any project really, do you
Hmm.
suggest that you have your friends there with you like throughout the whole process? Do you need those type of conversations to
Yeah,
perfect your album?
yeah. I would say so. I would say you don't have to have everybody in the room, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be in the room for the entire process. But
Mm-hmm.
if you just got a few real ones that could be in the room with you, that you can just bounce things off of, it helps. It helps because I think that's why me and Profe have been working together for so long. Even though we tight, on a personal level, when it comes to the music, we don't shy away from that critique. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we want each we're always 100% with each other, just saying, if it's garbage or if it's dope or whatever, we may throw each other a couple of lines here and there, like say this way or say this that way. And so if you have some real people around you that can give you that feedback in real time, it helps. It really does. It helps the process go a lot faster. And especially if you ever get stuck, because it's rare that I ever really get stuck. I always find a way out of it. But when you have people there collaborating with you, it just makes the process go that much faster. And you can stay in your zone and you don't lose any momentum. Like, because sometimes, you'll leave something, come back to it the next day, and you may lose a little bit of momentum behind it. So it's good to kind of keep that feeling and stay in the moment,
Yeah.
when you're making that song, because I mean, all the dope joints that I know me and Pro Faye made, like, we stayed in that moment. We stayed in that moment. We just kept it going.
Nice, nice. Um, yeah, I feel like a lot of people are sometimes scared of criticism.
Hmm.
Like, a lot of people may not. You definitely need somebody around you who you can trust,
Right.
um, who you can look at and be like, this is coming from their heart. This is a genuine suggestion.
Hmm.
You need friends like that. With anything, not even just a project, just in
Right.
general with business.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. If you have real ones around you, whatsoever, that's the
Hmm.
most important thing. It's just having, ones that's not going to lie to you, and people that's going to be there for you, because even like after making this project and personal things that I went through, like, I was kind of like putting everybody on notice, you know, as far as my own relationships with people go, because you go through like either your friends list or people you follow on social media, or Facebook friends or whatever, and you go through like your contacts in your phone. I'm going through this stuff and I'm like, I got contacts from like 10, 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't mess with these people, you know? And then there's people that like have gone in and out of my life as like, I understand that, that happens. People ain't gonna be in your life like that, for a long period of time. So I'm just like, I'm just deleting. I just went on a whole deleting spree, like a couple of days in a row. I'm just like, I'm gonna delete these people on Facebook. I'm gonna delete these people on Instagram. I'm getting these people out my contact list. Because like if you're not, like, the way I look at it now is like, if we're not and some type of form of contact, on at least a monthly basis.
I don't
You
need your right.
calling, right? Yeah, you ain't checking up on me. Like, I can't. There's nothing I could do for you. Like,
And there's one thing with creatives, we never ask for it, but we want somebody to just be like, are you okay? How's your day going?
yes,
That goes such a long way, because when you're creating, sometimes you get so lost in your thoughts and so lost with your everyday schedule that you may forget to eat. Because I
yeah,
know I do that all the time, like all the time. My boyfriend fusses at me for that. But
right,
yeah, you forget to eat, or like you're just spazzing out the whole day, and you need somebody to just be like, hey, chill out for a minute.
for sure.
That goes a
Yeah,
really long way.
yeah, and that's really the biggest thing. Like I said, going back to just me and Profe and our friendship, we always talk, on that level, because we both have our own set of trauma, in our lives,
Most definitely.
and as black men, that's something that has to be discussed more. I've always been a big pusher of mental health, but especially when it comes to people I'm close to, because it's like, black men, we don't talk about it a lot. A lot of times we bottle it up. We keep it kind of hidden. And I got to a point in my life to where I couldn't do that anymore, because it's just unhealthy. And then you start to kind of exhibit unhealthy behaviors, when you start to act out, and
Break
um
down.
yeah, and then you break down, you get emotional, and you just have to get out of your head sometimes. And even as adults, whoever's in your circle, like in your immediate family, like, you just need that guidance,
Most
because
definitely.
you see creatives, and a lot of times we're so good at doing so many things, right? And
Mhm.
people think, oh, well, they're doing a lot of shit, they got to figure it out, they're okay. It's like, no, it's like, we still need guidance at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Not that we need a cookie or a back rub every 5 minutes, but
Hmm.
we still need that guidance and that assurance, and people checking on us, you know,
Most
because you have to go into a dark state to sometimes to make this stuff, you know, and it's the same thing for whatever you do, you know, so because every, you know, whatever your motivation is for doing whatever you want to do, there's a reason behind it. There's a reason you're so motivated and you work so hard, you know, be it past trauma, be it you're trying to take care of your family, you don't want to go back to not having money, you know, whatever the motivation is, you're gonna have to get checked out. Like that's why I go to therapy, you know, at least every other week or at least once a month.
yeah.
You know, like it's just something that I need. You know, it's like, you know, we don't always have it figured out. And just, you know, being humans, you know, your mind is the most dangerous thing to you, you
Most,
know, because, you know, if you get into such a dark place, you know, you may not be able to come out, you know, especially without help. So, you know, I'll try to make sure that, you know, especially like, you know, people in my immediate circle, we're always talking and we're talking on that level and we're being honest with each other. Like, this is what I'm going through. Like, you know, and then, you know, just not being ashamed to say like, bro, like, you know, I had a bad day the other day. Like I broke down, like, you know,
which is okay.
yeah,
It
it's
happens,
real. It does. Right.
Um, I think it's very important to acknowledge your traumas. Um, when you have those days, like go back and reflect, go back and try to understand yourself when it comes to why you reacted that way, or why you feel this way about something, why you can't progress in the way that you want to. Is it because something happened, in your past that you're
Right.
looking now and you feel like you can't do it just because you don't understand why that happened in your past? And a lot of people, for the people who don't have anybody or feel like they don't have anybody, evaluate yourself.
Right.
That's very important. Take the time to sit down, do some self care, and figure out who you are. You know,
Right, right. And to kind of chime in on that, I was gonna say this towards the end, but I'm gonna just say it now since we're on the subject,
Mhm.
is that, you know, this whole project for me was really kind of an awakening and it was kind of the spearhead for me to like check my own narcissism. You know what I mean? Because there's different types of narcissists out there. And it's like, you know, I'm not like the worst type of person, I don't think. You know, most people will tell you, like, Kelvin, you're fine. You're not narcissistic and you're not a bad guy. But it's like being a creative, a lot of times, you know, having that confidence, you know, it makes
that
other
aggression.
people it makes other people around you feel small. You know what I mean? And that's one of the biggest things I realized. And it's not that you can control that because that's how they feel, right? But
Yeah,
like some people can't stand next to you because of what you do and how much you accomplish.
right.
And they're afraid to have, you know, any type of relationship, whether it's a friendship or something like that. You know, I mean, even as being colleagues sometimes, it's like people are really afraid to stand next to you because you do a lot.
Yeah,
And you know, so I really just kind of had to step back and evaluate, you know, how I'm treating people and just make sure like I'm checking my own narcissism at the end of the day, just because, you know, whether you want to be or not, you know, it can kind of get into that place because nobody's perfect.
right.
So yeah, that's, you know, really one of the main things behind this whole project.
Most definitely. People feel energy. People can feel that, and it's really good that you were able to acknowledge that about yourself. Like that's your
Hmm.
trauma, or what that's your trauma. That's what you've gone through. That's what you've acknowledged. And a lot of people can't do that, or they just don't know how, or haven't took
Right,
the time to just actually sit down and pay attention to why they tripping. Like,
right, right.
but going into that, the next track is Crazy and Bored.
Hmm.
Okay, so tell me about Crazy and Bored.
So Crazy and Bored originally started off as a whole different track.
Hmm.
Um, so uh, it was a track that I was doing with a friend of mine, Valerie Ramirez. She came to me. She used to work with my wife,
Mhm.
and she kind of came to me because she knew I did music, and she's like, hey, I write, and stuff like that, thinking about doing songs. And I said, well, just come by the house, we'll work on some stuff. And
Yeah.
so like we had got to a point to kind of recording and doing some things, and she got more comfortable with hearing her voice and recording in the process, and we made this whole song, but it was kind of wavy. It was kind of like a Janae Aiko type of feel, but just with the way like the track came out, it was just kind of like it didn't have enough energy. It didn't have like enough bounce to it. You know what I mean? And it just didn't have the right vibe. And it wasn't really like anything that Val or myself did wrong. It was just the way the beat was. So I
Mhm.
literally went and I re-chopped the beat up completely, and I took my favorite part out of the song because what's in the hook of Crazy and Bored was like 8 bars at the end of this song that we had.
Mm.
So that's why it came out, the way it did. So it was just like we just had this little bouncy part, like I know I drive you crazy. I know I drive you crazy. I'm getting bored, baby. I'm getting bored, baby. And I gotta give a shout out to my man Tyree. Tyree was there that day because we're working
Oh,
on a few different
okay.
songs. So
Shout
Tyree
out
was in
to
the room for this.
Tyree.
Yeah, he was in the room for this. And so, like, as me and Val are doing this because we're just layering our vocals, like, I know I drive you crazy. I know I drive you crazy. And so, like, Tyree's just in the background while we're like wording this out. And he's like, you got me going, cool, cool. And I was like, oh, shit. I said, okay, okay. So that's basically the hook for this song.
Nice.
And like, it was just a good moment. It was a good moment, and I really want, and that's why I saved the song for so long, and I was able to kind of come back to it and just chop it up and make something different. And then going back to personal experience, it was these. This is one of these kind of like it's not necessarily a breakup song. It kind of is, and it kind of isn't. It's more of a makeup song than it is a breakup song.
Okay.
It's kind of a confessional is how it kind of comes out. So there's a lot of you know indiscretions that are brought to light, and then once again just checking myself and owning up to my mistakes. So and that's on both sides. So once again, I'm glad that I had my perspective, the male perspective, and then you have the female perspective, and I think it's something that anybody can sing and anybody can feel, be it male, female, gay, straight, whatever. I think it kind of transcends, different lines just because people feel like this in a relationship and people make mistakes. And sometimes people have to go through these hard and rocky times to kind of get to where they're going. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Val just for providing some dope vocals, and Tyree for just giving me a couple ideas. So, once again, the collaborative experience, man, just having that collaborative spirit and having people in a room that could just throw things out there.
Nice. Tell me about the value of time, which is the last track.
The value of time, it's another UK grime style beat. Um, so which is kind of funny. It's kind of coincidence that like I started with a beat like that and I finished with a beat like that. But the value of time is a track that was a song that really just it's perfect. It's the perfect ending, because I start out, with the first verse and I say, I want real connection, affirmation, and some real affection. And so, like, just hearing that at the beginning of a song is like, okay, like this is like he's going into something deep, and that's just kind of like talking about like how time is the best currency that we have, because you can't get time back. You can
Right.
lose money, you can get money back, you can get things back, but you're not gonna get time back. You're not gonna get people back. It's just one of those things. And so that's what this track is kind of about, and just saying like, you know, watching how much baggage we're carrying around, watching how we're treating the people around us, and then just understanding the fact that we don't have an unlimited amount of time.
Right.
We just don't. It's not something that is, needs to be played with, and how you use your time is, very, very important. And that's the overall message, because even going towards the end of the track, I kind of, chop the beat up a little bit, and I kind of almost chop and screw it in a way, and it kind of comes out more of a Travis Scott type of vibe towards the end, I guess is the best thing I could say. And so, and even and then, it's like kind of that dark, kind of somber mood of like, what if I wasn't here? Like, what if I wasn't here to help my friends? What if I wasn't here to be, motivation for people? What if I wasn't here to, in these certain situations where people needed me? Like, what if I was a baby who was aborted? Like, none of this would be happening right now. So, which is one of them things to where we waste so much time and we really don't realize how much time that we actually waste in a day. And so, it's just kind of one of those things and making people think about, how they spend their hours.
Nice. I love it already, and I've only heard 3 tracks. I've heard some snippets, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
go back and listen today. I've already added it to the Sound on the Hill playlist. So people, if you're
nice.
on here, you can click the link in our bio to our playlist. Go on there. Kelvin's songs are on there.
Yeah,
You can also find his album on his page. Of course, make sure you follow him. And yeah, this is a really dope project. I'm really proud of you just for putting it together.
thank
Um,
you.
yeah, and I'm just excited to see how people react to it.
Right, right. Well, I'm getting, some good feedback. I think people are still digesting it for the most part,
Mhm.
and as it really gets out there, because I know, like I said, CO, Primetime, a couple other people gonna be putting some stuff behind it.
Right.
Everybody's kind of digging it. So as it kind of hits the streets, I know I'm gonna get a lot of feedback, but the one consistent piece of feedback I'm getting already is lesson plan. People are messing with that song.
It stuck out to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Right,
I was doing my makeup when I was listening to it, and I'm like, wow, this really shifted my day because I was probably gonna have like one of those irritable days
right.
if it wasn't for that song this morning. So it was it
Yeah.
kind of made me be like, let me change my attitude. Let me get it together. So
Yeah.
what's your favorite song on the track? I mean, song
Oh,
on the album.
oh man. See, it's hard for me because I like every song for
Of
different reasons.
course.
For for different reasons. But and looking at the whole because I originally thought it was the first song. I thought it was Wildin', just
Mhm.
because of how dope it is and the high energy. But I also love in 4K. But I'm gonna have to say it's Lesson Plan. Like there's just something about that track, man. And
Lesson
like
plan for the win.
right. And going forward, I think that that's the type of vibe people want to hear from me. Because when I do songs like that and I have that type of flow, it's like people are gravitated to it.
And you are a really good motivational speaker. I think people look at you for information as an artist. I think,
Right.
and that's why I entitled your article "The Informative Mixmaster" because I
Yeah.
feel like they want to understand the business aspect of things. They want to
Yeah.
know more in depth about the music industry and about just putting things together. And I think you say it in the perfect way. I feel like Titus actually said this to me. He said that he feels like this generation has to be talked to in a certain way for them to understand. And I feel like you are one of those voices that
Mm.
actually people look to give them information, and that's just dope.
Right. Yeah. And I'm starting to see that. I think I'm really starting to own that a lot more. Because like I have this perspective just kind of, growing up the way that I did, and kind of understanding the way that this younger generation feels. And when I say younger, I'm talking about people that's born post 2000.
Okay.
So, it's just one of them situations to where it's like, you know, I think these younger generations, and even kind of starting with us, we feel things so much more strongly, and we're more in tune with our feelings, and I think we just want people to really care. We want authenticity in a world where we're really not getting it.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of started this thing to where when I deal with people that's younger than me, like even just kids, like I talk to kids in a very, very realistic way. I don't give them cookie cutter advice. I don't try to shy anything away from them. I just tell it how it really is, and I try to do it, you know, not necessarily in an explicit way, but sometimes that's how you have to connect, so like I usually get people to no bullshit versions on what they want to hear. I'm just like, it's like shit's not gonna be easy. Like you're gonna go through this and you're gonna go through that. And to tell somebody that like like I think I had some family friends of mine that's like they were going into high school as a freshman, and and they kind of got in and they were dealing with some things, and I was just like, and they asked me, they said something, and they were talking about just some situation that we're going through, and I was like, well, just look at it like this: it's not going to matter in 4 years. Like you're not going to talk to 90% of these people. Like I was like, if I were you, I wouldn't take too much serious when it comes to relationships. And they're just like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, high school is like it's a blip. Like you're there and you're gone. It feels like the longest time ever when you're there,
It
but once
does.
you're out of there, like once you're past high school, and even when you get to college, it's real life at that point. Like whatever happens is on you. So I wouldn't get too caught up in what other people got going on in their lives. I would just mind my business. Like I'm not saying you can't have fun, do your shit, but make sure you're just taking calculated risk when you go out here. Like don't just be out here wilding. And then, like I said, just don't take anything too serious because 4 years you're out of there, you're moving on. And you can't take everybody with you. you know,
Definitely.
it's just real shit. So yeah, I just try to make sure everybody just gets the real advice, and then also not safeguarding information either. Not gatekeeping. That's the biggest thing for me. And I don't blame people who want to charge for information, or who have stipulations to it. I understand the business end of it, because sometimes you do have to pay a premium to get the tools. But for me, like I said, if it's something you want to know, I'm gonna tell you, and if I don't know, I'm gonna tell you I don't know. So I'm not gonna shy away from that, and just try to stay humble with it. That's just kind of how I keep things. I always try to keep myself in check. And like I said, with this whole album, it was just checking my narcissism, man. Like it was just growing, getting past my mistakes, owning up to my trials and tribulations, and then just checking myself. That's the whole gist of the album. And then just realizing at the end of the day, like, yeah, I fucked some things up, but I'm still the shit. So, you know, I'm a human being. People gonna make mistakes. Things happen. But as long as you just keep moving, you keep moving forward, and you able to wake up every day. You got air in your lungs, your legs work. Hey, keep it pushing.
Most definitely. Um, so what do you expect to gain from people just listening to your album?
I think I expect people to gain some clarity. I think people are getting more in tune. Like with me as an artist, I think people are really starting to like take my music seriously. With each project that comes out, because people gravitate to certain things. And I think that's one of the takeaways is they'll find something that they cling to, and that will kind of help them get through what they're going through. And of course, I mean, I think, I gain more respect with the more people listen to it and the more I engage with people. Of course, the monetary will always be there. I mean, music royalties, I mean, that's just slow money. But, I don't necessarily focus on the monetary, especially when it comes to music, just
Mhm.
because I know that that's going to, I got everything set up for that to come. But I really focused on just making sure I'm engaging with people and, getting that feedback and, asking people, hey, did you check out the project? Do you feel a way about any of the songs? What's your favorite song? What you think could have been done better? I always ask people those real questions just because I don't, it doesn't really, affect me if somebody's like, no, I wasn't feeling this when it was trash. Like, I'll say, okay, all right, I'll take it into consideration. You know, that's how this person felt. But music is one of those things that's just so subjective. It's just like people are gonna feel different ways about it.
Yeah,
I got 8 different songs. People may have 8 different opinions,
they will.
about, what I mean? So it's just one of them things to where, people will usually will find the track or the few tracks they gravitate to. But like I said, this one is a cohesive project. I feel like this one is even more cohesive than the last one. The biggest bit of criticism I got on Back to Class 2, even though it just dropped in February, like people said it's dope, but it's really short. Like
Oh,
it's
so
just
they
short.
wanted
Like I
more.
felt, yeah, they felt like they wanted more, and that was also motivation for making this one because, like I said, it's kind of a continuation. So even though it's not a chronological type of thing, it's just a continuation of the journey. So that's why I kind of left it as short as it was because I knew people would want more, and then you drive up interest, for the project and people seeing what you're going on. And of course, y'all know me, I'm on IG like 24/7, so you know I'm
I
out here just trying to
definitely,
promote it.
I definitely feel like you have defined your sound. Um,
Yeah,
as an artist, I feel I hear the confidence, I hear the growth in your voice, and yeah, like I said, I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but I already know that it's going to be dope just from the energy that you're giving in the first 3 tracks. Um, yeah, you locked in, and I feel like this is going to be a success. I feel like you're going to have great success with this album.
yeah, yeah, and that's always the goal. I mean, I definitely want to be successful, and that's why I got Sound on the Hill involved, and many others.
Most
And so I look forward to what the rest of the year brings. Of course, I know me and you, we got some stuff in the works. You
I'm
know,
gonna have to come to the studio. I think I'm gonna come through.
you want to come through?
I'm gonna come through.
Okay,
I've
bet.
been I've been really silent lately. I've had writer's block for a
hmm
minute, so I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So what kind of studio vibe you like? What you need? You need some scented candles. You need some wine. What's good? How you want it? I'm gonna make sure it's perfect when you get
um,
here.
well, if I had to describe my writing process, I I know I listen to whatever beat it is over and over and over again, but I kind of chop it up too.
Right,
Like I hear the beginning and then I'll write out the whole beginning and then play it back and then fix whatever and then go to the next part and fix
right.
whatever. I'm like really I'm a perfectionist. I'm not
Okay,
gonna lie. I'm not
okay.
gonna lie when it comes to that. But as far as studio vibes, just real chill. You
Yeah.
don't have to do too much for me. I'm not really that extra.
Okay, bet. Hey, no, we'll work it out. Whether you come through here or you come through Proface Spot. Because typically when we work with other artists, we try to make sure both of us are in the room because we both are great writers and we have different writing styles. But me and him are always on the same wavelength typically. So, but I try to have him in the room just so that way we're hearing things from different perspectives. So if it's something that I'm hearing, that I may feel is off, I could bring it to his attention and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll set it up though, because like I mean, most
Nice.
definitely, because I know we've been I know Pro. I think he said he was been wanting to work with you.
Most definitely. I'm gonna get out there. I keep saying that and I don't my every time I feel like I'm gonna sit down and write like a full album, my life gets chaotic. And I think I just need to
Right.
put myself down this time and finally do
Yeah.
it this summer, you
Yeah.
know. because I do have to remember that I'm an artist within all of this as well. So yeah, I'm open to working with both of y'all.
Right, right. And see, Proface said 100 down there, so he's down for it, you know. So, like I said, we definitely gonna set it up. But yeah, I mean, and that goes for any other artist too, you know.
Yep.
Me and Pro, we are the most chill dudes to work with. You know what I mean? We chill out, you know, we set the vibe, you know, it's no pressure, you know, we let people work in their own time, you know, but we just try to help you, you know, just get it to sound the way you want it to sound, you know, and then we try to make it sound better than that. So, you know, we strive for perfection and a high quality level. But yeah, it's never any pressure when people come to record with us. And I know Tyreek could vouch for it. The neighbors could vouch for it. You know, anybody that's ever been in a room with us is super chill, man. And you know, we just two guys who love music and love being around music and love that creative process, and just making sure that we can, you know, host that or accommodate that for other artists is very, very important because being in a, you know, and I know people kind of joke about like safe spaces, but being in a safe space, especially for creative purposes, is very important because you want a place that you can feel comfortable in and you can write in, and it's not pressure like, oh, well, we have to do this in a certain amount of time. Like, no, we don't put that pressure on people. You know what I'm saying? We're not, you know, we let people do what they need to do. You know, people
But
need to.
you see, that's the thing. I put that pressure on myself, and that's the
Right,
problem.
right. No, we realize that because like I said, when people come to work with us, they're so surprised. They're like, "Oh, y'all really just be chilling, like
Hmm.
y'all just be in the cut." Like, yeah, like you know, we may crack open some wine or some whiskey or you know some beers or whatever it is. If somebody, if you know, for the weed smokers, if you got to smoke weed, you can do what you need to do in the car, come back in, you know, whatever you got to do, to get yourself right. You know, we don't try to hinder anybody's creative process, and we don't
Yeah,
judge people either. So that's the big thing.
nice.
Uh-oh, did I lose you? Oh, no, we good.
Hold on, let's see. Say something. Wait, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Guys, make sure to check out Kelvin's album. It is out now on all platforms. The name of the album is Back to Class 3 Thrills and Feels. You can check it out with the link in our bio. We have an official playlist. All his songs are on the playlist, or you can go directly to his page. Let's see. Or you can go directly to his page and go to his album that way as well. We love. There you go.
There we go. Oh man, IG messing with us, man.
I know it's been acting crazy.
Oh man. But yeah, no, I appreciate it, CC. I appreciate you, doing
Yeah,
this on short notice for me. And just kind of providing the space to talk about the album and hopefully we can go through with our other plans.
we're definitely going to go through with our other plans. We're definitely going to do that. We definitely have some stuff
Yeah.
coming up. I am so excited for you. If you guys haven't read his article yet, click the link in our bio as well for that. Um, yeah, get locked in with Kelvin. He's an amazing artist. He's very informative with everything that you need to know about the music business, about building a brand. He's all of that. And Kelvin, like I said again, I'm so proud of you, and it's an
Thank
honor
you.
to
Thank you.
work with you. And yeah, I can't wait to come up with stuff to do this summer.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I appreciate the article you wrote. It was perfect. It was
Thank you.
everything I wanted it to be and more. And like I said, CC, when it comes to, whatever I got going on, I'm gonna try to get it to you first every
Thank
time.
you so much. And yep, we are going to end this live, but everybody stay tuned for everything that me and Kelvin has going on and all my other Surge Wave clients. Make sure you turn our notifications on. That's the best way to stay updated. Things move a little fast. They're moving really fast now.
Yeah.
So just
Oh
be
yeah.
sure to catch up. I'm finally getting back into the whole posting thing because we did stop for a minute. But our team is most of them just graduated, so we are doing a whole transition into the summer.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. And yeah, shout out to the other clients too one time before we get off here.
Most
Shout
definitely,
out to Kane, Titus, K Surani, man. I see all my dudes, they doing a lot of big things. Everybody's doing their own individual things and like I said, everybody's nice too. I see what everybody's doing. Everybody's nice,
yeah.
man. Like to see the type of like I said, see the type of talent that we have here
Mhm.
is insane, man. So shout out to Titus, shout out to Queso, shout out to Kane. Y'all keep pushing, doing what y'all doing, man. And those who aren't clients yet, man, get hooked up with Sam on the Hill. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you so much, Kelvin, and I shall talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.